Hello and welcome to an updated Ripper Demons guide in which I will teach you how to turn these Ripper Demons into ash. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ripper Demons require a Slayer level of level 96 to take out, and in this video we're going to focus on taking out a lot of them at the same time. For that reason I'm going to suggest that you have level 95 Prayer and Curses unlocked, level 96 Herblore and Overloads, level 73 Summoning, and high combat stats. The City of Santistan quest is also a requirement for the AFK method in this video. Ripper Demons have over 33,000 life points, provide 2,000 plus common experience per kill and over 2,700 Slayer experience per kill. They can be assigned by Kurdel, Morvan, Laniakia and Mandriff, and in Laniakia's case, they can also be assigned as a Demon Cluster task. They are not immune to poison, which means Cinderbanes are best in slot here. Here's a list of general useful things you can bring along or use to improve your kills per hour or make it easier to do this task. The first of which being the Infernal Puzzle Box, which reduces damage taken in the wilderness and increases damage dealt. After completing the Succession quest, you can turn this into a passive and place it on your tool belt. The Demon Slaying Venture perk is useful due to its 7% increased damage against demons, and if you have one, place it on your armor setup. The Elder Overload Salve is useful but not required, as you can simply bring along super anti-fire potions, not for the Ripper Demons but for the occasional ambush, which could include Gemstone Dragons. The Dwarven Siege Engine or the Royal Dwarf Cannon, depending on which one of the two you have, as one is the upgraded version, are going to be very useful as they aggro extra Ripper Demons and let them teleport into the melee distance. After getting the Royal Dwarf Cannon, you can actually get the Restocking Cannon perk, which automatically refills your cannon, incredibly useful for AFKing. It goes without saying that drop cleaners such as the Gold Accumulator, Sprinkling and Gem Bag, and of course the Charming Imp are going to be very good here. The Charming Imp especially because Ripper Demons are amazing charms. Worm Incense Stick should be used for extra poison DPS, and finally, if you want to get a little bit more prey experience, you can use either Infernal Urns to clear up the Infernal Ashes, or the Attuned Ectoplasmator, which can be used in combination with a bone necklace such as the Demon Horn necklace for unlimited prayer. That being said, if you want to make money, alternatively you can also use the Death Note Archaeology Relic power to automatically note those ashes and then pick them up as a stack. Now, Ripper Demons can be killed in and outside of the wilderness and have multiple locations. That being said, the optimal location to kill Ripper Demons in is in this spot in the wilderness. You can get there through a variety of different means, but the main way I would get there is by using the Wilderness Obelisk system, teleporting to the level 50 location, walking past the Chaos Elemental and Abyssal Savages, go through the gate, and then you're there. If you happen to have a portable obelisk, you can use the Wilderness Teleporter system from your inventory, and if you don't, you can buy a single-use version of that item on the Grand Exchange called the Obelisk Shard. Now, while killing creatures in the wilderness, including Ripper Demons, your threat level will increase, and it will increase fast when you're killing Ripper Demons with this method. Your threat level is only reset after leaving the wilderness, dying, or using a Trill Begone item. That being said, I wouldn't bother teleporting out or using those items at all, since you're going to be clapping these Ripper Demons constantly. The higher your threat level, the harder the ambushes and volcanic attacks are. That being said, you can simply use the volcanic protection item, place that in your inventory, and you're completely safe from those volcanic attacks that can hit up to 7,000 damage if you aren't using that item. I'll be showing you that in the gear setup as well. Alright, so the chill and casual method, so to speak, is a magic method using magic tank armor and the Animate Dead spell from the City of Santistan quest. As you can see in the setup, we have a magic tank armor setup, and no, it doesn't have to be Crypt Bloom. You can use Ganodermic with the Enhanced Devoted perk, you can use Sea Singers. Just make sure that you have a magic tank armor setup and the Animate Dead spell. For those that don't know, that requires the City of Santistan quest. As for your weapon, you're going to want to have a Noxious Staff or better. The reason I say that is because there might be more jumps if you aren't dealing enough damage. You can probably do this with a lower tier weapon, although it just is so much more chill using a Noxious Staff or better. The Inquisitor Staff with the passive upgrade or enchantment being the best in slot weapon here. It's also the reason we're using a Scripture of Wen here, because that extra damage can just about kill a Ripper Demon that is about to jump, even though in the wilderness you don't see as many jumps as in the regular Alcarid Cave. Out of all the perks you can bring along, the Enhanced Devoted 4 perk is the only real requirement here for your armor set, as without it, the chances of you dying are going to be higher. Crackling and Demon Slayer are two other perks that can be very nice to use here. Using something like biting will also increase your kills per hour. Regarding weapon perks, Precise 6 Equilibrium 4 will be the bare minimum, though if you do have better like Precise 6 Ruthless 1 and Aftershock 4 Equilibrium 2, that will be better of course. As for the inventory setup, it is fairly straightforward. Bring your runes for Blood Barrage and of course Animate Dead in your Grasping Rune pouches, your Elder Overload Salve or other overloads, Weapon Poison +++, Note Paper if you want to make money in combination with those binding contracts, Quorum Incense sticks for extra poison damage, volcanic protection items to make this method even more AFK, as without them you can get hit by 7,000 hit, which could take you out. We're using some emergency food, being blubbers and a single sailfish. We're using a gem bag and spring cleaner to clean up some of the drops. We have some charm placeholders for collecting charms with the Charming Imp, which is on our tool belt. A Blood Reaver Familiar, of course, to increase poison damage, which is also why we're using the Vampirism Aura. They all work very well together. Our cannon and cannonballs, of course, and that's pretty much it. It's also worth pointing out that the Maniacal Aura or any other damage boosting aura are also very effective here, as the more damage you deal, the less chance those Ripper Demons will have to get a jump at you, which is their instant kill attack in case you didn't know. As for the Archaeology Relic setup, none of these are required, but they definitely help, especially Death Ward if you get low on health. Now, during the making of this video, Jagex updated the wilderness graphically, and for whatever reason, one of the save spots now works a little bit worse. At least it seems that way, as Rippers seem to get stuck behind this now taller rock and don't seem to teleport as often or at all. Instead, and this is the better spot regardless of the graphical changes, you want to walk to these two lava potholes, the larger ones, stand directly in the middle of them and place your cannon in front of you. Not one tile to the right, directly in the position I'm showing you in this video. Now by far the most dangerous part of this method are the first few minutes of you standing here, as that's when most of the Ripper Demons will charge their bars more often, as you might have attacked them first with your Blood Barrager. It doesn't really matter. Pay attention to your screen for the first few minutes you start your task or your hour of AFKing here, as those are the most dangerous. Every single time I've been jumped and killed by Ripper Demons is within 5 minutes of placing my cannon. There is one more exception, being the Elite Ripper Demon mob that has a lot of health and pretty much always charges his bar when you're AFKing here. If you see one and you aren't completely AFK, be sure to target it, as you'll deal more damage against your main target with Blood Barrage. Apart from those two things though, I think this is a very casual and nice way of taking out Ripper Demons, and best of all, the kills per hour are very high as well. On task, I was able to get 1195 kills per hour, which is around 3.25 million Slayer experience per hour and over 2.5 million combat experience per hour. And that was without the Demon Slayer perk on my Augmented Crit Bloom, which doesn't even have the best in slot perks anyway. Also, I wasn't using my Fractured Staff of Armor special attack, which could be useful, and if you have the Inquisitor's Staff with the enchantment upgrade, that will be the best in slot staff to use here and get you even more kills per hour. Now, Ripper Demons aren't just good Slayer and combat experience per hour, they're also incredible money per hour, even if you don't use binding contracts to capture their souls for even more money. I was able to get around 17.5 million GP in common drops, and I didn't even pick up every single drop. I say that because my inventory was too full of potions and other things at first, so I didn't pick up the Bloodweed seed, so I missed out on a couple of those. I also got a Ripper Claw and the Amascut Sand, both of which are rare drops that can make you even more money per hour. Finally, you can see that I obtained 1620 Crimson Charms and 1152 Blue Charms. The only reason you can see 53 here is because I brought one along as a placeholder at the start. So yeah, a lot of charms, a lot of Slayer experience, and a lot of money. Now, if I were to have used 1133 binding contracts during this hour, I would have made 47.5 million more GP by capturing Ripper Demon souls and noting them using magic notepaper. If you're willing to make a lot of binding contracts up front, you can get up to 65 million GP per hour by killing Ripper Demons, and that's off task. Also, if you're lucky like I was, you might just get yourself the Parasitic Orb, aka the Nipper Demon Pet, which is a 1 in 30,000 drop from regular Ripper Demons. And again, to remind you, you don't need Crit Bloom to do this method. You can do this method in Sea Singers or Augmented Ganodermic. Just make sure you have Enhanced Devoted, as that perk helps a lot. What's more important is your damage, as the danger aren't the Ripper Demons hitting you, as with Animate Dead Enhanced Devoted you should be absolutely fine. It's them jumping and instant killing you. That's what will kill you, not their spin attacks when they die. Now, in a recent video, I mentioned how the Dragon Helmet spec was incredibly effective at Ripper Demons when spamming it using the Essence of Finality Amulet and a Scythe type weapon. This method is still more kills per hour than magic, but is far less AFK. The core of this setup is having the Vampirism aura and Scrimshaw Vampirism both turned on and basically spamming the heck out of your Dragon Halberd special attack using the Essence of Finality. To not die during this method, you're going to need to have Enhanced Devoted on your armor, otherwise things will get bad very quickly. I also reckon having the Fury the Small Relic is going to be very valuable opposed to using the Definite Relic to Note the Ashes, as extra adrenaline simply means you spamming more Dragon Halberd specs. The way I did this was simply use Hurricane and Quake occasionally, and then just spam the Dragon Halberd. And if you have the Chaos Roar ability, using that before you use your Dragon Halberd spec is very nice. I did not a single time use Meteor Strike as I was spamming the Halberd so hard, and since you don't really crit that often, I don't think the adrenaline returns are worth it, even with the play and farm perk. I also tried switching to Seismics to use Tsunami at low adrenaline with the Insight Fear spell, but it just resulted in my task getting done a lot slower. I'm keeping this method at a mere mention and gear setup because the magic method is simply so much more accessible and doesn't require as much upfront cost in terms of gear and abilities to get the most out of it. With that being said though, we've come to the end of this guide. If you enjoyed this guide or found it helpful, be sure to drop a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.